Hey folks, it's Mark here from the Digital Nexus podcast. I'm here with Chris.
Show here for episode 18. Pretty pumped.
18.
A lot of interesting news today. Big news around OpenAI, Claude, all having some interesting updates.
Piece of shit.
Has got a really cool video announcement relating to video games.
We dive into the 13 recommendations from the Senate Select Committee here in Australia. So it's getting serious for if you are building in the AI space. And we dive into demos as well. So we've got something for the Aus DeFi Association, which is going to be, by the time you see this, hopefully it's something you can actually try out. So revamping and improving websites, tinkering with tools. To all my tinkerers out there, you're going to love this. And Chris, you showed a demo too.
As well as the ultimate sales tool to support you and how you reach out to contacts utilizing AI. Catch you in the episode.
See you there.
Woke up, tech talk, news flash, AI rolling in future in a dash. Digital dreams, cold and safe. We got the vision, never out of sync. AI, rising to the sky. Digital world, we reaching high, not centralized.
Welcome back, folks. We are here for another episode 18 of the Digital Nexus podcast. I am Mark, one of your co-hosts. I'm here with Chris,
The other co-host.
And we've also got PD the plant, who you
Giving him a name.
in other episodes. PD is now anthropomorphized. That's a word. He wasn't there last episode because where were we, Chris?
We were at the CryptoCon. That's what I'm calling it, CryptoCon, but it was
Crypto convention.
That's what-
CryptoCon, kind of sounds like a bad thing, but crypto has a
it
lot
does,
of
yeah.
stuff to celebrate because they hit 100K. A phenomenal kind of milestone considering that one dude, basically, I think they worked out that the amount of Bitcoin that he paid for his pizza in like 2009, 11, whenever it was, there is Bitcoin pizza there. I should know this, but would be worth billions.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
If I could go back in time and say, hey, Chris, from 2012, buy that $18 worth of crypto coin that you were going to spend on
You'd be like
one
running
coin.
away because like, why is there a double?
Yeah, what's this? Yeah, who is this older guy?
They don't have that in like Back to the Future. They're like you meet your future self. You can tell it's like you.
Well, it'll be a
Like,
bad
you're
thing.
scared?
It'll be a bad thing.
I think it's a ghost.
Well, they
You might shoot it.
if you touch yourself,
You
it could
kill your
cause
future self.
it could cause catastrophic time
It's crazy.
dilution. I
Time
don't
dilation, the end of the universe as we know it, and who knows? And we'll dive into it. But like OpenAI has their Merry Shipmas, the 12 days of Shipmas, where they're giving out every day for 12 days, and you think one of those could be time travel. Who freaking knows, right? Maybe.
It probably knows. Maybe we should ask it.
We should. But anyways, folks, we were around for the Oz Crypto Convention last 2 weeks ago and stuff. So we went around last week. So
And then you were in New Zealand last week.
I was in NZ. It was great. I was in Auckland, a phenomenal city, really great places to eat, a lot of great wineries and stuff, except for the weather. So the weather improved the longer that we stayed there. So I think New Zealand's just calling us back. It was rainy the time I got there. It was sunny by the time that we left. And yeah, if New Zealand wants great weather, just find a way to get me over there, folks. I take Bitcoin.
It's one of those things. It was like a marketing campaign to keep you there. It's like start off bad, just get a little bit better every time until you're like I have to come back. I can't leave now.
I can make sure you guys have great weather. Just sort it out. Sort out my travel. Anyways, that was awesome. And then I was just going to say, just diving into the last couple of things that have been happening this week, a whole lot of build stuff. When I put out my newsletter, my personal newsletter, the Founder's Journey one, you're going to see a bit more on the demos, a bit more on the background of things that I've been building that I can actually show, because there's a lot of stuff for clients you can't show. I was at a Techstars Demo day yesterday, which I'll just show on screen now, I believe, if I can get this right. So I just put this out this morning. There were groups, there were different groups there. There were 8 presentations, amazing women-led kind of groups, doing a whole lot of stuff in various spaces, a lot using AI, more so this year than I've seen before in any kind of cohort, not just Techstars, but others. There was a group called Understanding Zoe, parents that built this app for other parents and anyone that needs to understand neurodivergent kids, right? And so beautiful story there. Groupie, which is about how do you monetize. Oh, they said this, it's the OnlyFans for business professionals. So how do you monetize it? People keep on tapping you for like ideas and thoughts where you can monetize that. So really great stuff. There was Nevim as well, Capable, Two that I didn't get to see because I had to leave halfway through because I had to go to the Bitcoin kind of crypto in Sydney. The groups all came together for a Christmas party, so I had to go to that. But one's called Genie. It's an AI companion for women. So it's designed as a friend, confidant, mentor. And it's for women by women. So it's that kind of assistant there, which is great. And then a cool one, Hello Canopy. And they're like a safe space for employees to voice their burnout, misconduct, and workplace concerns and stuff. So I didn't get to see those, but I knew both of the founders and chief marketing officer at those. So really cool stuff. So that's been me for the past week. What about you?
Me, I've been deep in customer and client activity work. We've also gone full steam ahead with one of our AI projects. So we're we're coming up to the end of the year, it's December.
Wow.
Things are supposed to ramp down at this point, but like we're ramping up. Like it's been crazy over the last month.
That's crazy.
So I know January is going to be super exciting. But
Are you gonna take a break?
nothing is. I'll take a week or two over the Christmas. I think I'm going to stop around on the 20th. So we could do on 2 weeks of some pretty.
Do you guys say pen down or is it keyboards down?
Oh, it's just keyboards. Didn't remember the last time I used a pen.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know how to write.
You even write?
No, what is it? Just
Fun story. Just on writing and stuff. I didn't realize this, but like in Japan, your signature, it's not a signature as we would like know it. You have something, and I can't remember the term for it, but it's like a symbol. Right?
Yeah.
Sign your documents is with a symbol. So this guy was talking about when he came to Australia for the first time and he was asked for a signature on things. He didn't really have one. So he made it his symbol thing, whatever the word. And I apologize for not remembering. I only saw this last night. But his symbol is a smiley face. So he had to sign a whole heap of these like official documents with a smiley face until he was forced to actually get a signature kind of thing. So writing could actually be this lost art. We should go back to hieroglyphs. It'd be easy to remember that.
I know, like historically, and I mean, Japan, writing is an art form in itself.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not surprising that is a continuation in their culture. It's quite interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. In any case, maybe AI could make up cool signatures for you. You never know. I have here, by the way, this is going to keep us with sustenance throughout the podcast. This is I don't know what this is called, but it's a Swedish snack. Very salty, bit licoricey. I'm not a huge fan of licorice, but I like this. But anyway, Swedish fish. Check it out. Proper name for it. You're going to try it. Chris is going to try it right now.
All right, that's good. Really good.
He's just had breakfast. It's super salty. He's going to like it. Don't bite. Like, Chris just took tiniest little bite.
That is a top level tang.
I like it.
Actually, I took a bite of half of it.
Yeah. See, he took
half.
I digress.
Is it licorice or is it aniseed?
Aniseed, licorice.
It's just a similar thing.
Similar. So this is from the Christmas markets here in Martin Place.
Whereas that is a salty.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Check out the Swedish lolly place. To me, we'll sort you out. So, anyways,
I love licorice, but that's intense.
Yeah, there you go. What else is news for you this week?
Ooh.
Okay.
I gotta finish my mouthful first.
I got you, bro.
That's a flavor. That is a flavor.
Well, I'm going to jump into, I'm going to show you guys a cool demo of something that we've been building in the background. And this will come out in the newsletter I do today, my personal one. But OpenAI, as I mentioned, they are getting very festive. So they've got this thing, which is, they're calling it the 12 Days of Shipmas. It includes Sora. Sora's going to come out, baby.
It is happening.
Sora, it's happening. We don't know when on the 12 days. It could be the first one.
I was going to say, because there are two big 12-day announcements when it comes to the AI. The rumors are, first one is O1 release, and the second one being Sora. Proper O1.
Preview. What does O1 full, not the preview.
Exactly.
Lift the table, show us the whole thing, and let's just see.
There's lots of rumors of what that'll look like, where it's, file uploads and manage, which obviously Follow can manage. And
yeah, we can't do that with O1.
Yeah, exactly.
So connecting all the peripherals, digital peripherals, like the, uploading documents, having it browse, having O1 full, being able to do that. But also I do wonder, because the biggest complaint about O1, and we saw this in previous episodes where I showed you guys that if you try to actually get into the underlying prompts, the custom instructions, normally you can do that.
Get lost.
This one's telling you, no, you're warned now.
Yeah.
Keep on doing this, we will ban you. And there were recordings of users getting banned from ChatGPT for trying to do that kind of behavior. And it's just like, what the heck, bro? And then a Chinese group came out with another very similar model to O1, O1 Omni. where it does give you the underlying, here's how it actually did its thinking and stuff. So what I'm interested in is if O1 also, do all those connections, will they open up things a little bit more? Who knows?
Who knows?
It's OpenAI, not really.
But yeah, so Sora, big one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited
Yep.
about that. That's also really interesting. Like if we think about what they showed us almost 12 months ago now, Sora, when they demoed us, and it's even now, if you look at some of those original videos, like there's even all the other ones that are out there, there's still like the quality is up there. So I'm really excited to see what happened in the 12 months.
Walking with the reflections, the person on the train, or
In
all those classic
walking
ones.
through the streets of the city with cars driving by, and
Yeah,
some of the footage that's come out in the last month or so has been pretty intense.
Oh, it has been like, and the other models, like, and if Sora's going to come out, seeing that they have seen all of these things that are out there, it just makes so much sense that whatever comes out is going to, probably be way better than those other models from China, from Runway, like RunwayML has stuff.
Yeah.
For video, and obviously
Talk about those in a minute.
Minimax, Kling, which are both the Chinese kind of models and stuff, and they've been amazing and with some things, but like, just what they can do there. But look at this, like 12 days, 12 live streams, a bunch of new things, big and small. 12 days of OpenAI starts tomorrow, aka today, which is the 6th. So we'll probably start seeing some stuff tonight, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But what I was just going to say was, how crazy is it that Sam Altman just has all these things up his sleeve, right? And I think there's probably stuff that he could just announce at any time, and they're just reactive to, okay, Google is going to put out something, or they put out something in the morning, in the afternoon, they've got Sora, they've got something big. So it's a pretty interesting tactic. Releasing all of these 12, you know what that tells me? They've got way more in
They do.
This is the 12 that they'll release, and if they're always got, barrels in the chamber, bullets in the chamber, who knows?
Well, I mean, it's leading into this, the rumors around AGI, but also, I don't know if you see.
Are they going to get AGI? Is that on the 12th day?
Yeah, definitely not.
It's a robot. You get a robot.
Well, it depends on what. Again, this is some of the articles I've been seeing recently. Is like he's moving the goalposts around what AGI is and what it means, right? Which is kind of, it's a bit of a kick in the pants if he starts going, "Hey, we've done AGI," and it's like, no, you haven't. This is just a really smart model, but it's not AGI in its truest form. But who knows? Maybe they did solve it, and then they've had it on Apple lockdown kind of scenario, and no one knows about it until it needs to be leaked and released.
On that note, ChatGPT has 300 million weekly users.
Yes.
What the heck?
That's insane.
Okay, so
not quite Google level, but
not quite, not yet. But
we're talking by minute stats, but
it's crazy. It's crazy. But look, we're looking forward to the 12 days of shipments.
Yeah.
Which starts. Oh my gosh, I don't know what that was. There was a bit of a. We'll edit that out.
What would happen? Sure.
Weird ad.
For the T5. Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like.
Sorry, folks. Yeah. We're not.
I don't like GPT-5.
We're not that kind of show. Anyway. This is the thing. Twitter is unhinged ever since Lord Elon took over and stuff. So it's all good. Anyway, we see Cat's ready. We see everyone just really excited for this. I mean, in terms of like the 2.8 million views on that tweet just from yesterday. So really
talk to me about the Frontier model.
The Frontier model. What do you mean?
Well, the one of the big four that we've spoken about, Sora, we've got O1, Frontier, and image to voice, text, video. Are the four of the big announcements within.
So you're looking at the show notes. So I'm saying that they could be releasing, apart from O1, or maybe GPT-4. They've got 4 Turbo, and then that's what we had a few. It could be that O1 is the Frontier model, or that we do get something else with GPT-5, and it would make sense to me because 4.0 being this thing that can think, you might need something that doesn't do all the reasoning that they're looking to do there, and release new features to. We still use in some ways 4.0 mini, depending on what it is that we're trying to do. I'm going to show you something where I built using 4.0 mini. So what I meant by Frontier is that, do we just get O1, or are we going to get another Frontier model? Like, is there going to be a GPT-5, or it's just going to stick with like, O1 becomes GPT-5?
Yeah,
we will see.
That makes sense.
So what have you got?
Yeah. So I mean, you're sticking with the this sort of trend of video that we're talking about in relation to Sora. A couple of new tools have come out recently. Open source video generating is a really interesting space because currently a lot of the tools are paid or paid gateway. This is an open source one done by an Isreal team called Lightricks or LTXV.
Yeah.
Is the model. Let me switch over.
Go ahead.
So you can see it here. So Lightricks, it's an open source AI video tool, which is challenging a lot of the other big video tools. I don't think it's going to be as good as what Sora potentially is or will be. But the most interesting thing about it is the fact that it is open source. So you can actually jump into, here it is here. You can jump into the GitHub repository that they provide on the page, download it and run these locally. And they talk about a lot of the, the GPU power consuming that you would need. So if you're someone who has, 4080 or a 4090 in your system, you'll be able to generate some, quite lengthy videos within, quite a quick amount of time.
Lightricks.
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 Not heavy Ricks.
Lightricks.
We only like Lightricks.
And LTXV is the source model. So you can actually download that on your system right now and they generate it. I was looking around online for a couple of people testing it out. Some people got it working. I downloaded it and I couldn't get it working myself. But I saw some other people who did get it running, and some that was just taking ages for it to generate. So I don't know if it's what the status is for it, but I spent like an hour trying to set it up just yesterday. So I'll give it a go again over the weekend and see how things go.
Fantastic. I was
ElevenLabs.
Yeah. What have you got?
This is an interesting one. Google LM, which is an amazing tool, one of my favorites out there. Notebook LM specifically. Yep. There's so many things you can do with Google Notebook LM, right? You can, especially if you're in news or blogs or like the ability for you to do really quick, accurate summaries because Google knows how Google works. So a lot of the output is really tailored to the systems that you're utilizing it in. And then obviously you have the Notebook LM, which is the part I'm going to address here with the podcasting asset. So you can actually create little 10-minute videos out of the content. So these guys, ElevenLabs, who you may have heard before, they do a lot of stuff around audio and visual content.
Like clone your voice. You can use one of the existing actors there. And
exactly right. So they just released an app version for being able to create podcast summaries. So you can upload all of your, quite a hefty amount of notes and information, whether it's summarizing your articles or, your transcripts from things, dump it into the application and then get a audio output in a quite good podcasting format. It's a little bit, I would say, I don't think it has the same fluidity that you hear from Google, but, just another competitor out there that if you're utilizing the ElevenLabs ecosystem, then
sure.
There's just another tool out there for you.
It totally makes sense.
Plus, it's on your phone. That's the thing. It's an application. So it's the anywhere usability for this tool to do things.
Notebook LM on the phone. So there's Notebook LM app.
There is, yeah.
So and you can load in so the thing that they added that I think was really good was that you could put in a YouTube video and it would give a summary of the YouTube video. So definitely throw this podcast into our Notebook LM. Let's
exactly. Well, you can. The great thing is that you can also do large volumes of content with that as well. So you can put multiple YouTube videos and multiple documents and notes, and then ask them to do a summary of all that stuff. But yeah, so this is just like a streamlined model that anyone can get their hands of, which is really cool. So I like that bit of competition out there. Right, and RunwayML, they've recently done an update, Gen 3 Alpha. Really, really powerful updates to their image generation. But one of the most interesting features that I liked, this I haven't tested out, I've only seen it in live motion, is the ability for you to upload videos into the tool, whether it's in portrait mode or landscape, and then create fill for that particular video as well.
Tasting like old movie scenes and
expanding it out, and it adds in all of the context in. Some things I've seen it gets a little bit funny, and other things I've seen just wow what it actually does. So it's pretty powerful, pretty cool. Definitely something to have a play with if you're in that video space and want to fast track. I'm sure making better videos, bringing up old family footage and then
oh my gosh,
adding some
extra by aliens. Oh wait, no.
And then you can take that and then put it into one of the the 4K image upscalers as well, and so I get really enhance it. So now you've got this almost modern looking video or something from good old ancient times.
It'll be like those movies from the 90s or noughties, and they're like enhance, and it does.
The hallucinations that might occur, and that would be pretty funny.
Something that I think
The white dude became Asian? What?
yeah, how does it happen? It's like a family trick. So something that I find that happened not during the last week, but within the last 2 weeks, but it is important to cover, is that here in Australia, there were consultations by different departments, Department of Industry or Innovation, Science and Resources, Department of Health also did an AI consultation. The Department of Industry Innovation one was bigger, 245 responses. And what happened was that a select committee, Senate Select Committee, basically took those responses, took other industry consultations and stuff that they did, and came up with 13 recommendations for Parliament. Now, whether or not these go in, these are just recommendations, but this is recommendations from a group that has influence. So we could likely see something like this happen. One of the biggest things that I think was a surprise to industry, some in industry, especially from the tech side, was that they considered the general purpose models, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, etc., to be high risk. Ooh, right? Many in the space that we work with, we help the Build Club, for example, that sits out here at Stone and Chalk where we film. They're over at Haymarket mostly, but many in that community thought that, well, we should have a high risk category and that should have mandatory guardrails, but general purpose doesn't really count as high risk because it's just like recommendation system. Like, sorry, you could classify AI that recommends you like what place to go to, you know, for a trip. That's going to be the thing that's powering that is now going to be considered like high risk. Anyway, they had other recommendations in there. This is not the law. There's still going to be, you know, some back and forth on this, but it is quite interesting and some might say concerning that tools like ChatGPT are considered high risk and what that could entail. It might need more regulations. It could be innovation for anyone building like us, like depending on what we, you know, needs to happen there. If everything that we use, the core models are considered high risk, what do we need a license for those?
I mean, there's a good thing and a bad thing to do with this. Like the bad thing is guardrails can halt innovation or, you know, prevent people from utilizing it the way, you know, that it would want to be used and be helpful and meaningful for people. On the flip side, it does start to put pressure on these businesses to make sure they are putting the right checks and balances in place. Because right now, all those checks and balances, they are managed by industry. They're not managed by, you know, governing authorities.
Yeah.
And which means that, you know, what they state is you should be following these guardrails aren't legal, they're not law, and therefore you could go choose someone. There's no checks and balances for it. It's just like an agreement that a bunch of corporate companies have.
And this is where, you know, we believe in guardrails, and that's why we said that coming from the blockchain space, we could have something where if you need, for example, one of the things that I do massively agree with is, especially in high risk use cases, think legal, financial advice, healthcare, clinical like advice that doctors give. I don't care that they're using AI. I just want to make sure that a trained, qualified human has been in the loop of that process and read the final outputs.
And they're trained and qualified, not with AI.
Yeah, well, yes, that's what I mean.
Like,
That's what I mean. But like having it so that the qualified professional like we have in the real world, we have an assurance, like a digital assurance that is recorded to blockchain, maybe not at first, but even if it is recorded to just the database, having it kept in a way that we don't have all of this extra data that could be leaked, that could be prone to cybersecurity hacks. And that's why we put zero knowledge proofs on top of it, so that you can prove things about data without me actually sharing everything with Chris like I have to do in the real world. So anyway, I think that this is necessary, all these discussions that are happening, and that there is a way to put in guardrails without stifling innovation. So we'll see what happens there. But I had some takes on it that I shared on LinkedIn. And then you can just, actually, this is something else. My takes on it are here. Sorry, I'm just going to close all these messages. Dedicated AI legislation is really great. Principle-based approach is also good. Including general purpose models, I think, as we discussed, is, you know, something to be discussed kind of further. But there was a great call for supporting sovereign AI capability, that we don't have to just rely only on the models overseas. And given a lot of the open source push in AI, there are groups that are actually pushing to create, like, there's a guy named Prem, and he's doing something, I think it's like Kangaroo LLM, like a sovereign Aussie, you know, kind of like AI thing, which
Could hope you hope it talks in AI and speak as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Anyway,
Like, g'day, sea bag.
yeah. If you give it like more, if you tell it that you've had a lot of drinks, it actually speaks to you as if it's like
From
yeah,
GameStop.
an Aussie that's had a lot of drinks. It's like
Key.
bring back Russell Coites. Anyway, so that was that's a big thing I think there about that Senate inquiry, and there are videos from the Senate talking about it. But it's just always funny because it's like they'll talk about things, and it's just like there needs to be definitions of this. Like there isn't just AI, and you're talking about generative AI. AI also means just like the Netflix recommendation engine. Does that need to be considered high risk now? Like hopefully there will be like really detailed definition. That's always one of the biggest things that industry comes back with whenever government has like some consultation. It's like, well, what do you mean by this? So we will see, we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll keep you posted.
Excellent. Well, sticking to business and industry,
Yeah.
Anthropic just released a pretty cool update, allowing their model to support, I guess, businesses in, to the type of AI activity that they're doing, whether they're implementing their own LLM tools or with their organization to read their own data. So currently, Claude doesn't have the ability to, I guess, read current news and current affairs and current documentation. It has to be prompted or attached to something to do it, unlike OpenAI, even Google, and Google's tools accordingly, they have open access to the live web. Claude it only gets information as it gets its own update. So every time a new update comes out for Claude, that's when it gets all the latest information and update from the web.
Nice.
So what they've done is to support organizations who are who need that sort of live access or even access to their documentations in live as they're pushed into, their own folder structures within their business. They've got API protocols now that allow them the Claude to maintain that update in real time with information on their own servers. So that API is live and accessible for businesses, and they can start actually, putting their own Claude LLM tools into practice with cloud, with the security and assurance that data isn't going to get leaked to the internet.
Leaky data, no good.
Yeah. An exciting one that actually came out. There's like a lot of really minor, small things in news, and some like really cool big things that have happened over the last week or so. One of the biggest one, and this is, you touched on OpenAI with their drip feeding announcements, and you mentioned Google, and Google had a really big one, which is Genie Alpha version 2.
Genie.
I don't know if anyone listening had seen Genie version 1. So essentially, this is a live game generating tool.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what it actually
Was it the one where they did Minecraft?
Yes, yeah. So, well, a version of that, yes. So the version that came out previously was very low resolution. We're talking, I think it was like 250 pixels or something. And essentially, it's generating video game environments in real time for you to interact and play with. So Google just had version 2 of that just released, and this is now, so it's a larger scale, higher resolution for the video format. But most importantly, and this is what's been lacking in the previous one, is its memory capabilities. So what it didn't previously do is like you may have taken too far a step into a generated environment, then turned around and gone back, and
So someone did it in Minecraft where they spun the character around 360 degrees and slowly noted the different environment things like, oh, there's a house, let's spin around, let's spin around, spin around. The house is gone.
Yeah.
Because it's generating new stuff that didn't have memory.
It didn't have memory.
Oh my gosh.
So what Genie 2 now has is memory to actually remember those 3D environments as albeit is within a certain field. So if you step too far out of that range, obviously, and you move back what's out of vision, that stuff will regenerate. But this new capability allows it to see things real time. And even in the videos, you can see things are still a little bit blurry and it doesn't generate text. And like there's some, volumetric issues and lighting a bit all over the place. But man, the fact that it's generating these environments that you're able to interact with in real time and have the memory to hold on to that information as you're exploring it is intense. And that is really showing how far some of these game environments are going.
That is pretty damn intense. I like it.
I love it. That's super exciting for me.
All right, cut. Let's go to this one here. So, Dr. Kim Oosthuizen, she is over at, I think it's SAP. I hope that's SAP. Anyway, presented with her at a fintech marketplace event where I was the MC, which is great. It's always fun to MC.
Very nice.
And anyway,
MC as well.
MC. Yeah, MC. I rap. I MC. My money don't jiggle. Anyway, copyright. So She highlighted at this CFO summit. So the AFR did a crypto summit recently, and then there was a CFO summit. Speaking of the crypto one, Alan, who's the chairman of ASIC, Alan Steve, he said at the crypto summit, which is similar in style to this CFO summit. The crypto one was that there's going to be regulations ASIC are going to like push for, and here's the things we're looking to enforce and stuff. And they just came out with an info paper 225, which is open for consultation. It's going to mean many things. It might mean the shutdown of some businesses. It might mean opportunities for others. We'll dive into that another time. But just mentioning that because as we can see here, there was a CFO summit. So Kim's on stage here with other groups, whole lot of CFOs, as you can imagine, and technology people. So it was like Kim from SAP, McGrath-Nickel, which is another great company. They're head of technology to digital. Takeaways from Kim, that AI adoption tends to become patchy when organizations aren't ready for AI. And we see a lot of that, you and I, Chris. AI literacy gaps, big thing. Leadership and employees not fully understanding AI. So there's an education thing there. Data challenges, poor data quality, silos, etc. Definitely an issue, but you can actually get AI to help fill in the gaps, help clean up things as well. Legacy systems, so maybe not being able to connect to things, fine. That needs to be worked out. The ethical and regulatory concerns. On the ethical side, it's not just like bringing in, and we see many talk about this. You can't just like bring in a tool and then not have any employee buy-in. And what do you expect? Like they may walk out, they may rebel, they may get plans for the Death Star and give it to whoever. But in any case, like it's a cultural kind of thing. It has to be this all-encompassing. And I've seen groups that do it well, where they're like, we're not going to tell you what to do with the AI, but we're going to provide you a safe way to access AI and see how it could become useful. And yeah, we'll help train if you want that.
Yeah.
But not forcing it. And I think some really interesting kind of topics come up whenever you talk. I was at a superannuation event. They're talking about like innovation. I was, this event here for CFOs, even the crypto industry and the blockchain industry, seeing how AI is useful there. So worth, looking at in whatever industry you're in, trying to get involved in those conversations and these events, I think is important.
Yep. Yeah, very nice.
So yours or?
Yeah, well, no, a couple of small minor things. I won't show any video content for this.
Next.
Yeah, we've got a couple of interesting demos that we just want to showcase. Some really cool websites that we've been building. Well, sorry, not me, but you've been building, and some stuff I've been testing out in the sales space. So I thought I wanted to showcase that. Small news: Alibaba has entered the LLM space. They're competing with the likes of O1. So keep an eye on that. I think there's going to be the likes of China and all the big AI tools coming out there are huge powerhouses. So there's going to put a lot of pressure and competition on our American counterparts. And DaVinci, one of the more exciting ones that I really liked.
DaVinci as in the
DaVinci Resolve, which is a video editing tool which I have.
This is brought to you with DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, so they've just updated their image tracker capability. So
on our way,
you can actually track the elements, change a particular thing that is in motion in really high quality. So next time you see this video, you'll see Mark shifting around in lots of vibrant colors. I'll change them there. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, look, I can see myself there on mirror.
So that's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely check those out.
I'm getting dizzy now. Really cool stuff. I wanted to show, before I go to the thing that I'm building, I wanted to show something from one of our friends, Michael Wang, president of the Data Science and AI Association, and I am the former president there. But he built this tool, basically, which goes into AI papers. So here's a whole heap of different AI papers. You can click on it, you can chat with it, you can read the paper, you can use AI to help explain things, but a really cool, he calls it 1-minute papers. There's also like a 2-minute papers YouTube video, but this one's like far more interactive. I love it. I love this tinkering. And speaking of tinkering, I guess the thing that I really want to show is that Chris and I, we run something called the Australian DeFi Association, along with Arturo, along with Francis and all the other people in different states that have all been part of like the blockchain journey. We film it each month. Next week, we're actually going to do something called Stand with Crypto. So I'll just actually get that up on screen right now. But basically, Stand with Crypto is an event that we're doing with our friends at Coinbase. And there's a whole heap of basically people that have signed up, over 100 so far. This is going to be at Stone and Chalk over in Haymarket. but we film these events. Stand with Crypto is like a movement to help support and bring different industries and government closer together when it comes to the blockchain industry. So yeah, 101 signed up so far. So that's all on the Aus DeFi side of things. We are going to create a new website, and I'll show you the old website, folks, because this is something that, you know, it's been around for 3 years and this hasn't changed. This really hasn't changed too much. So you can join the chat on Discord. You've got the weekly newsletter. You can see the meetup. We've got data and resources here. This is all built in Wix. And so you can see, you know, background here, some other things of the different types of apps that are out there. But why I'm talking about this is because using Bolt and some other tools, I am creating a brand new website for the Aus DeFi Association that's going to be more interactive. There's going to be, and it's not on here yet, I'm building it in the background, but this one's going to be the public version of the app where you can do some interesting things, see some interesting resources. It's going to be easier to update. But there's going to be a members only version, which we're building, which will have features specifically for members. But so far what you can do here, you can see the about page and like you can see a roadmap, some interesting designs there. We bring across a lot of the data and safety and video resources and news resources that we had before. So you can click on any of these tabs that are on screen here. Then the other part is education. Check this out, Chris. So I've got something where people have always asked us, like, I just want some basics. So with the basics, you can click on one of these and you just get simple explanations of what different things are and concepts of decentralization, the role of cryptography and blockchain. You can even go so far as to go into a topic that is really high right now, which is real world asset tokenization. And that is something where people are doing it to tokenize all sorts of things. So you can see there's explainers, quick cards, like, you know, you're teaching like a kid, like, you know, just a quick kind of card, and you can dive into concepts further. And then I've got these visuals. So here is something that we've been able to, thanks to Bolt and other tools, create things like, here's how you understand what does block structure look like? What is decentralization versus decentralization? What is public versus private keys? How do smart contracts work, etc. So some interesting high-level stuff that we link to. Now, it gets to the fun part. The fun part is that we've got this thing called AI Insights. And so on the AI Insights page, what you can see here is that basically you can chat with different experts that we've got here. One is an expert on decentralized finance. So another one is an expert on real-world assets. So I can go here, tell me about RWA as if I am 12, which is a nice way to get, you know, it's explanations, because it simplifies it when you say things like that. Explain it to me like I'm 5. And you can see here, it gives you the answer. Then you can continue the conversation. Okay, we'll say, I work in construction. How does this affect my industry, for example? And so you can see it, you know, you can go back and forth with it. We do it across basically, I think like you can go back 5 messages. So it's not too long of a context window, but really interesting stuff there. Even more interesting is that I've loaded the transcripts for past meetups that we've done. So we did one in August with some international guests. Like, tell me who were the special guests. And then it will go into it and it'll go, okay, Audrey and Glenn, tell me about quotes that were cool from them. And because it's got the transcript, you can interact with this. This is free. You can just go to it. There is going to be more for a members section. So you can see here some quotes from Audrey, some quotes from Glenn, and you can dive into it more for other meetups, and we will load more in here. The podcast insights is also like the most recent podcast. So we had Hannah, Vincent, Charmaine, Andrew, another Vincent. So for Vincent Grimoli from Red Belly, tell me about his academic work. Vincent, that is. Great way to prompt, Mark. But here, Vincent Grimoli's academic work, and it dives into it, extracted from the podcast. You've got more of this interaction. We're going to do some more of this kind of stuff.
And it's using 4.0 Mini?
It's using 4.0 Mini.
Nice.
So it keeps costs down. So it's worth having a look at that if you are building and tinkering. It's, you know, in the sense that it is. So why I'm showing you this is that we're going to launch this site. It's going to be a way to provide more value to people that weren't able to get to the meetup. But there's going to be even more value than this when I get the members app out. So that's something that we'll be building. But anyway, that was it from me. What do you want to show?
Love it. I wanted to show off a tool called Fuzzy. So this is targeting my my salespeople out there who are looking to try and find better ways to reach out to a larger or targeted audience. If you've got some really structured campaigns, understand who your people are and your tone of voice. So this is a tool called Fuzzy. I'm gonna bring it up. So Fuzzy Sequence, really interesting tool utilizing a lot of AI. They're actually going through, they actually opened up a bit of funding recently, and they're going through a new iteration of their tool, mixing more sort of ChatGPT and Claude-based responses within their programming as well, which was, I think I've hinted at this previously. So they've got good relationships with AWS, Google, and NVIDIA in terms of their inception programs. And so they're technically a startup. And this is available on request if you reach out to them and have a chat. So this tool here, I'll just jump in. There's a lot of interesting features here that allow you to tack yourself into quite a different array of ways of communicating with people out there in industry. You can import your own contacts, whether if you've got your own CRM and your own database, you can pull in things from other databases if you use tools like Apollo and the works. You can even pull contacts in from the likes of LinkedIn as well. So if I wanted to go to my contacts list here, and I wanted to import a list, I can actually import, as you can see here, from LinkedIn, as well as upload my own CSV of information. So I can go to LinkedIn, I could filter down. I've got an example here where I've got I want to target a bunch of not-for-profits. I've shortcut the list to 21, take that URL, drop it into the sequence here. And then I can import that list, and it will create that list of people. You can see I've just shortcutted it as Digital Nexus, and it's just syncing and pulling that data in now. But you'll be able to see that list of people here within your Fuzzy tool, and then start targeting messages with them.
Fantastic.
Now, the reason I love this so much is, so what you can start to do is you can adapt your own brand voice so that you're triggering the tool and what you want to do.
Okay.
So here's a brand voice that we use from a Digital Village perspective. Tell it all about yourself, who you are, what you do, how you speak, what is the type of language you use. You can then give it, are you a company that, has a PhD level tone of voice, or are you a bachelor, or are you down to a kindergarten, you're talking with kids and others? What's the tone? Are you constructive, professional? What type of mood? Are you like trying to be, boring and lazy, or do you want to be exciting and action orientated, or you're a business, you're confident, empowering, visionary? Language, words to exclude. You can even set your pronouns. You want to talk from the perspective of me and I, or you want a perspective of you and they, particularly if you're, if you want to talk from the perspective of a customer, not say that I help you. It's like you get this solution. You can dictate that as well. So you can save that brand voice. And then you can start structuring value proposition. So if you want to target certain people with certain messages, you can define different value propositions depending on who the audience type. So let's say I've got 3 examples that I have in my contact list that I predetermined was around executives in health industry, executives in education, and I can't remember what the last one was. So I could target a specific value prop message for that particular audience type by defining what the product is, their specific pain points, their differentiators, case studies, call to actions, and you can get the AI tool to actually help generate those insights as well. So I won't create one, but here, look, you can set that up, give it a title, give it a product name, give the elevator pitch for that particular product, and then put in the differentiators and product pain points and information. And then the next step, you can actually get AI to help generate that content in a meaningful way as well.
Fantastic.
So what you can then do is you go to your contacts list. You can either see all of your raw contacts in one list, or you can see the different lists, as I showed you before. And then you can also go here, which is the most powerful part, now to the campaigns, and start actioning campaigns to target those particular lists. So there are 2 ways you can create them, and then there's lots of different options within that filter. I've got the beta version here active, so I can either start from blank or I can choose a template. I'm gonna choose a template just for example states. So I click this, open this up, and there's lots of different ways and reasons that you can address your audiences. Are you talking with CMOs? Are you talking about webinars that are coming up? Depending on all the different things that you have saved. So I'm just gonna go to this webinar one that I pre-built. And I'm going to define my list, define my brand voice, hit confirm. And then what happens is you start getting this structure where you can define in a sort of sequence format how the tool is going to be talking and reaching out to the customers that you've set here. So I have previously done this. So I've got some LinkedIn messages that I define. I can then get the AI to help generate that stuff, to generate those communications, or I can define it myself.
Oh, interesting.
And then get the AI to help optimize it. I can tell it to wait for 2 days between messages or wait for 3 days between messages, and then I can save, and that sequence will then start automatically in the background, communicating to your people, to your lists, either through email or direct through email, depending on whether you've told it to do it through LinkedIn or uploaded via your own CSV messages. So suddenly now you've got this communication platform that is automatically reaching a huge audience, depending on how big the lists that you've uploaded in the background. And you can define those frequencies, like you only want to send out 1 or 2 per day, or you want to send out 20 per day, or you want 1 or 2 per week.
How annoying do you want to be?
How annoying do you want to be in your marketing campaigns and sales campaigns?
They're an Aussie company.
So the founders are Aussie, but they're based over in Singapore right now.
Do we know much about the data?
What type of data are we talking?
Like, no, where does the data sit? Where do they?
The data is all hosted, or all the platform data is hosted, self-hosted with their own private AWS service. Obviously, the AI tools are utilizing OpenAI APIs as well as Claude APIs.
Nice.
I couldn't tell you how they're managing the data between how the AI is reading stuff, though.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for something where it's not, say, for example, like super secretive, then it's going to be okay, like, just to use any of the models. There's a lot of apps that use OpenAI or Claude or Anthropic's like API tools.
Yeah.
It's interesting to note.
And to be honest, it's like it's a sales tool. You're targeting people with a sales message.
Yeah.
I mean, what does it matter if OpenAI is getting trained on how you're messaging people? It's out there anyway.
It just gets better.
So you can also create campaigns using some custom features. Here you have some predefined targeting, messaging methodologies, whether you want
like the poke the bear one.
Yeah, you can be really just like, why you should be doing this right now. Or you can have like, hey, this is our mission and this is the type of things that we do. Do you want to talk to us? Or do you want to build a relationship? Do you want like vanilla ad?
Like
a generic.
These messages sent to me.
Oh yeah, like people utilize this stuff, but now this is automated, right? So you can select your brand voice here. I'm going to poke the bear. I'm going to be really aggressive for this example.
Ooh.
I can then go to my value proposition. I can then select which one I want. Let's go my design print. I do a lot of work in design sprints. I select my channels. I only want to target with LinkedIn at this particular time. That's all I've got set up. And then I can set what I want my messaging to be. Do I want to have an invitation that goes out to say, hey, let's chat before, or do I just want to email them directly? I like doing the invitations. I want people to actually want to engage with me. How frequently do I want them to communicate? Let's just say I want a delay of around 3 or 4 hours after they accept my invite. How many messages do I send in total before I leave them alone? I think 3 is a good number following that first one. Specific days between each message, I'm going to say 3 or 4 days. And then I go next, and I can then define which list do I want to target those towards. So I could select one of my community services and stuff like that. And then I can generate copy. And what that'll do here is that will then create a whole bunch of copy and information against the lists that I have created. The one thing I did forget to highlight here, which is around what happens with the lists when you update them. So at that particular point, if you haven't set up your list properly, it'll come up with an alert going, you need to sync your lists with all the information and insights. So this is where it gets pretty cool. If I go into one of the lists that I have previously created here, it's actually not generating right now. I can't showcase it. Scrap that.
All good.
I'll stop there. But essentially what you can do, you can actually click on this. You can click and see your lists, and it will display all of the information that it's scraped about those particular people from LinkedIn, what their businesses are, what their links are, what type of work they prefer to do and see. And that's how it automates and generates all the content, so that when you're targeting that message, it's not just giving a generic message about your business. It's saying, hey, I just saw you did this. You may really like this because of what this business does. It makes those connections for you. So that message that you're reaching out to LinkedIn with is more meaningful, not just generic. That's where it gets really powerful.
Very cool. Well, I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
Another booking here, so
we got a couple of minutes.
I think that's a great place to leave us on. We'll be back next week, folks.
We'll drop some links in the show notes. You can jump in, have a play around with these tools, and yeah.
See you soon.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your time.
Circuit board buzzing, worldwide. Tech trends blazing, digital fire. AI, rising to the sky. digital world, we reaching high.